you. I grew up in an overall good enough family and had a good enough life. I picked up enough of my own traumas that by my early 20s, I actually had my own dance with my part of my darkness, which was to get into substance abuse and to use, primarily alcohol at that time, some cannabis, nothing extremely hard, but just to say I do know that experience of what I call just master avoidance and dissociation and ultimately escapism. And it was in that darkest moment, as it often is, that I met a couple key teachers in Los Angeles. And that's when I started my healing, but it actually happened through more indigenous and ancient wisdom pieces before I ever got into clinical psychology, psychotherapy, anything like that. And so from that arc, it was in that LA life that I ended up meeting a brother called Waka Painia, who was from New Zealand, straight up Maori. We met in a yoga class and he became one of my best buddies. And he was on that actually opened the door to me at Passages Malibu. He had already worked there and they needed somebody else. And he was like, hey, I think I know the guy. And at that time, I actually ended up they were just launching Passages Ventura. So I was actually part of the core team that launched Ventura before returning to Malibu. But it was really through, in a way, through my own darkness and coming out of the light, meeting this guy in one of these communities, more of a spiritual community. And all of a sudden have a great role at Passages Malibu. I was there for, between Ventura and Malibu, it was almost 10 years. So it was quite a while. And it just taught me so much, not only of my own healing I have this belief when any of us are vulnerable or are doing our work, it positively impacts others. So to say, when any of us work, we all work. When one of us works, we all work. So even when I'm helping others, I'm also receiving my own healing upgrades. I'm sure you know that one.